Hi, everyone. Welcome back to All Things Real Estate. I'm Terry LaJoy with Keller Williams Coastal Lakes and Mountains Realty. I'm your host, and this is Sean Sandville, my co-host from Oak Hill Acquisitions. And today we have Nate from Garage Force.
That's correct, yes.
And I'm super excited to have you talk about what you do because it's a very different product.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited about this. So,
yeah. So first, tell our folks who are watching who you are and what you do, and then we'll dig in from there.
Sounds good. So my name is Nate Fernando. I work for and I'm the local owner here for Garage Force, and we do concrete coatings. So think about garages, basements, patios, indoors, outdoors. If you have concrete, we can coat it. If you have something other than concrete, we might be able to coat it too. But usually we're like working in a lot of garages though too, especially from a residential standpoint.
Right. So we've all seen the coatings.
Sure.
Most of what I've seen is epoxy.
Correct.
You don't do epoxy, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
What is it? Tell us what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
let's start there.
So epoxy's been around for decades, so it's a fantastic product, and there's a lot of variations in the type of epoxies that are out there though too. Some of the better epoxies are being used in more like commercial industrial settings. Okay. But the types of epoxies that are typically used in garages, especially things that are available to consumers off the shelf, or even to some like installers though too as well, those types of epoxies don't do well when you start talking about transitional environments. So thinking about like garages where it's concrete is expanding and contracting with temperatures and even just the weather we're having today,
right.
Temperatures going up and down, concrete's expanding and contracting. Then you layer on top of it the vehicle traffic and the weight of vehicles going on top of it. In the summertime, you have hot tires going on top of it, and you have then starting to think about road debris, rocks, dirt, sand, other things like that are being brought into a garage. Even a professionally done epoxy floor starts to break down on you after about 3 to 7 years. And so maybe 5 is your max life before you start to see it peel up on you, start to crack, other things like that. The type of product that we're using is called a polyurea coating. And so that polyurea coating is actually, instead of being brittle like epoxy, it's flexible. And also we're getting better adhesion to the concrete. The version of the product that we use at Garage Force is proprietary to us. That's 20 times stronger than an epoxy in terms of its adhesion to the concrete.
Wow.
So you're getting a stronger bond to the concrete, and our top coat is actually 3 times stronger than even the more traditional polyaspartics that are even out there in the marketplace though too. And because we have a quality product, the prep work that we do, and it comes with a lifetime warranty then as a result of that though too, that covers both the product and the labor, and it's one-time transferable for people who are thinking about selling their home though too as well. Now you have an asset on your hands though too that's marketable as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's back that up because you just did a complete brain dump that I can't even form a question about. So let's start. No, that's okay. First, I love that you guys give a lifetime warranty.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And as you were talking about the weather and the traffic going in and out of the garage, I'm thinking the past week we've had snow.
Absolutely.
We've had salt and all kinds of things that are coming on.
Correct.
I would have thought it was the salt that would eat the epoxies, but it's everything, and I didn't realize that.
It's a little bit of a combination of all of the above, and that's the salt definitely does a number on coatings. It can do a number on concrete as well, and that's why it's nice to have the quality of the product that we're putting on top there for that seal coat is sealing everything in. It makes it just easy to clean, easy to maintain. Once things dry out, you can sweep it out. If there's a little bit of puddling from snow melt, other things like that, you can just take a squeegee it out. And then at the end of the season, just take a hose with the sprayer attachment, spray it out, and your garage is kind of back to new again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes it very easy to maintain.
Oh, you're coming to my house.
Yeah, happy to do so. Yeah.
That's amazing. So now you at the chamber brought in little, what are those little squares?
The little coaster.
Yeah, little coasters. Thank you. I'm losing my mind here.
Yeah.
You had all different ones.
For sure.
Now, those are the different patterns.
Correct.
And if I understand from before correctly, you can customize that pattern as well.
That's exactly right. So
talk about that process.
Yeah, for sure. What's great about things I get excited about though too as well from my background working in marketing is I love to sit down with people who have an idea and have a vision for their space and collaborating with them to figure out a way to come to life. So whether that be like they have an idea of like, I need something that's going to be functionally work exactly the way that I need it to, or if it's something they have a very specific design they're going after, like trying to match the colors on a custom car that they have, or something like that though too as well. Being able to match those colors and create a custom experience though too as well, so that the floor matches the car and they like have their garage that kind of like is something that is now their baby. You know, and it kind of is, it's an extension of their vehicle then though too as well. So that's a lot of fun that I get to have as part of my process. Sometimes people are just like, hey, I just want the most popular color, and that's great. And we're happy to do that. But when people have an idea or a vision, I love helping them bring that to life.
So if somebody has a garage,
sure,
say a small mechanic's garage where they're doing it kind of off at the house, maybe a separate building or something, and they have a logo, can you literally like put their logo underneath?
So that is something we are able to do for sure.
Seriously?
So we can definitely do that. Some of the things that like when it comes down to logos, well, I always give the caveat for my customers though too, is that the first thing that's going to break down on the floor is the vinyl of the logo itself. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that might need to be touched up after some period of time though too. But I've been finding vendors that have created versions of those logos that'll give us like a nice long lifetime though too out of those, so that something that we can seal into the floor and have it be something that'll stay there for a long time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's literally as customized as the person wants to make it.
That's exactly right. And so we have our traditional flake floor system, which is kind of what you've seen though too as well. But we also have a lot of other types of flooring systems, including solid colors and a few other different ones though too, depending on the type of application. So whether if it's a shop, you might have a very specific need in terms of slip resistance or other things too. So we have the ability to dial in and make sure we have the right system for the right customer, and then delivering the look and experience that they're trying to get out of that though too.
That is so cool.
Oh, and you can do slip resistance?
Absolutely. Yes.
I did not know that. So I used to, in former life, I was an aircraft mechanic, right?
Oh,
so
I gotcha. Yeah.
Oil, hydraulic fluid, all that stuff all over the floor. And it became, even non-slip boots didn't really help too much. To know that you can do that, because everybody at the airport was using epoxies for flooring, but to know that you could actually do slip resistance, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just from my past life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of different systems and methodologies we can use to dial that in, depending on what the use is.
Yeah.
You know, because there's that trade-off sometimes of like, sometimes the more slip resistance you add, the harder it is to clean.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of that trade-off. And so it's trying to dial in, like, what is the actual use case? What's the travel patterns for people moving through the space, and making sure that we're addressing exactly what that customer's looking for though too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So a travel path can have different texture, if you will.
Yep. Yes.
To make it like make it less slip resistant or more slip resistant versus other areas that may not need that same. I had a customer recently who one half of the couple uses a wheelchair, and so they have a ramp going into the house though too as well. So I wanted to make sure that that ramp had the extra slip resistance though too, so that it has more to grab onto. And then there's also a path then for nurses and other folks coming into the house though too, so that they're coming in from the outside. And I wanted to make sure that path that they're walking is something that as they come in from the outside, when it's snowy outside and everything else too, they're not going to slip and fall. And so I created that path though too as well. You don't see it, but when you walk on it and you feel it and you drag your foot across it, you know it's there. That's amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I enjoy being able to help customers solve a problem that they have with whatever project that they're working on though too as well. And that's something that's fun for me to be able to do. And people are getting more utility, more use, and more life and excitement and joy out of spaces that sometimes are either forgotten, dingy, and they want to not think about it all, and being able to transform those spaces and now be a focal point and now be something that they would talk about to their friends and they're excited to show off to people though too as well. That's fun.
That's amazing. And I'm just thinking of all the different epoxies that I've seen. And while they may have different colored flecks or that, but they're all pretty similar.
Right.
And what you guys are doing is very customized. It's very unique.
Right.
And it's extremely durable.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's something that we pride ourselves on. That's one of the reasons why when I made the decision to go down this path and start this business, picking my partner, so Garage Horse is a national franchise. And so picking a partner that is investing in and is focused on continuing to advance the technology of the types of products that we're using and making sure that they have those systems available for us, depending on no matter what type of installation we need to do though too. And I have that national support and partnership that I have that I can always tap into if I'm encountering something new. And then that's something that they train us for though too as well, and make sure that we're always like, staying in front of like whatever's the latest trend and making sure that we can stay on top of it and help our customers like navigate that too.
That's awesome. Do you have questions?
More on like the kind of the patio side, because I've never heard of like getting your patio covered. So are you finding that to be like a more common trend that people are using to customize their patios?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that, more and more often though too as well. And especially people who have like maybe like a few cracks in their patio, like they're trying to figure out like, how do I change this and transform this without needing to just like rip out a pad and put in something completely brand new.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something where we can bring a solution for that though too as well, and breathe some new life into that space though too. And then that way they can like decorate it, make it look nice, and have that be actually like a space for them and their family to be able to appreciate and to enjoy though too. Our product, with the top coat that we use and the flake that we're using though too, creates a UV resistant barrier, so that being outdoors, being on a patio, exposure to the sun, we want to make sure that whatever we're going to put down there, if it's foot traffic only, we have a really special mix that we can use to make sure that it's going to hold up to the sun.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think about it from a renovating a house perspective, like when we're flipping something, instead of having to go in and rip out a patio and do something brand new, I can almost just refinish it and make it completely customizable to what I want.
That's exactly right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I like the little hacks like that, because instead of spending, a boatload of money to rip it all out and do it all over again, I can actually use the existing structure there and refinish it and make it look nice.
That's absolutely correct. And that's one of the things like I love doing too, is like I've worked with a lot of individuals who are getting ready to sell their homes. I've worked with other real estate agents though too as well, and done their homes though too. And I think they appreciate the fact that for the cost of what we do, and oftentimes for the speed that we're able to do it, for our garages, we can do them as little as one day in terms of the installation work though too. So coming in there, prepping the floor, getting it fully coated, and then we're gone. And then within another 24 hours, it's fully usable again. And so it's being in and out very quickly for the speed and for the cost, and for some people who are getting ready to sell a home, or for people who are getting ready to move into a home, Exactly. So it's like, hey, I just closed on the home. We're getting ready to move in. I'd like to get this done before I bring all my stuff in. Yeah. That's also something like, we've definitely done that a lot for people though too.
So prep is one day and then cure time is one day and it's good to go?
For most installations, yes.
Okay.
Correct. So so the full prep and install is one day, and then the cure time is 12 hours to walk on it, 24 hours to drive on it.
I'm starting to question why people even use epoxy.
Right, because the cure times can definitely get longer. Yeah. For sure. And
absolutely. I'm thinking they probably don't know about your product.
It is definitely newer in the marketplace though too. Is like, epoxy has the history of being around for decades. The polyurea coatings as a category has been around for maybe about 15-ish years, roughly speaking. So it's definitely newer as a category. But as I go and talk with people and meet with them though too as well, the awareness is starting to rise though. So it's definitely seeing that more and more. But there's still a lot of people. I still have some of my best customers that still introduce me as here's my epoxy guy. And I'm okay with that. I understand where that's coming from. There's a long history of that. I'm not going to try and change it. But at the same time though too, I know that the quality of product that we're delivering is so much stronger than that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. If you don't have another question, I'm gonna go down a whole different path.
Go for it.
So what does the process look like from somebody calls you, and I'm going to use the example of a home to start.
Yeah, great.
They 2-car garage. Great. What does that process look like, start to finish, from you helping them design it? Right. Because it is a designed product now. Right. Yep. It's not just, okay, well, this is what we're going to do.
For sure.
What does that whole process look like?
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
Give us a call, shoot me a text, contact us on our website. Then we'll set up an appointment for me to come out and to view the space. Whenever I do kind of my assessment, I try to understand from the customer, how long have they been using this space? What is their goal and their vision for the space? I get my measurements. I measure things like moisture levels in the concrete, the hardness levels of the concrete. It gives me a lot of data and information there though too, and it helps me understand if I need to do further investigation of any moisture, things like that. But my estimate appointment can run anywhere from call it 30 to 45 45 minutes. And so I come out there, I do my estimate, I put that together for them, I show them the estimate right then and there.
Oh, wow.
And then
Okay.
so I can build it like on site and be able to show the customer that estimate right then and there. And if they decide to move forward, we do a small deposit just to make sure that we're able to kind of hold dates, things like that. And then we kind of go off. I order all my product, and during that estimate appointment, we're kind of deciding on what type of chip do they want to have. Like what colors do they want? We have a few different chip systems. Some of them have like more of like a natural stone look to them, and some of them have just some different like types of chip systems though too as well, depending on what they're looking for their space. And we kind of like figure out what that is. I build that estimate, and then like within a couple weeks we can, if I can do it as little as 5 days. I prefer to have 2 weeks before I can do a job. But yeah, we're able to turn that around, and then my guys arrive on site on 8 a.m. the morning of the install, and by the end of the day, for most of those installs, we're able to have that finished floor ready to go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, in terms of like prep for the space and whatnot, let's say somebody's in the garage, is it something where they need to have everything out, open space for you guys ready to go, I'm assuming, right?
That's correct. That's, having that space, like, open, ready to go, things off the floor, anything dangerous off the walls. I think that they don't want to have any little bit of dust on or anything like that too as well. Make sure they take them off the walls. And then sometimes like certain customers have I have like a heavy piece or two, like whether it be like a fridge or something like that though too, we'll help the customer move like that single or two pieces, things like that. That's not a big deal for us. I've got a partnership with a storage unit place and stuff like that who can drop off a box or a pod for you though too as well. So we can coordinate that and work that into. Is that something a customer's looking for? And then we as long as that floor is things are off the floor, we take care of the rest of the prep from there.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So go back to the chip.
Yeah.
The chips that you have.
Sure.
I've seen several of your samples.
Right.
Unfortunately, the folks who are watching this don't have that benefit.
Of course, yeah, that's okay.
So explain kind of like what goes into that, like, because there's different types of finish, but there's also different chips and colors and combinations, and
right.
Go through that process for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a few different, basically, I call them series, of chip systems that we have available. The most common one, and people most think of when they think of this type of product, is kind of like my solid color chip system, my core chip system. So that's like, think about like the gray, black, and white combinations that you probably see on a lot of floors though too. Mm-hmm. And I have basically fairly infinite combinations though too I can do. As long as I have the chip color, I can do a mixture of that though too as well. And I can dial in those percentages, depending on what a customer's looking for, if you're looking for something different than my standard options that I have available. So that's kind of where probably about 70% of most customers kind of live in that camp of looking for something like that. And then I have my kind of I sort of alluded to some of those other chip systems that I have. So one of them is called our Stone series. That's becoming increasingly more popular. And it has almost more of a natural stone finish to it. So it's actually a printed on chip. So it kind of has a little bit more dynamic going on, but it's got some really cool colors of things like that are going on in it though too as well. That gives it a little bit more natural. And for people who are the other stuff's just too busy, this is a great solution for them though too. And especially for you start to think about outdoor spaces and other things like that though too. It's a great option for those types of environments though too, where you don't want to have that really busy look, but you want to have something that looks a little bit more organic to the space that you're trying to create though too, and matching the colors of your house, matching the colors of even just landscaping, other things you have going on though too.
That sounds like what you're talking about for the patios.
Yeah.
That now you're bringing in what's around it. That's into correct. That and just kind of making it blend in.
Correct.
Be beautiful, but still blend in and be durable.
That's exactly right. So and we have, and then even the step up from our Stone series though too as well. We have a hybrid and Stonebridge series. When those start playing with sizes of chip, so everything from really fine sand to even larger chip sizes, and creates just even more visual texture to it though, that can really add some really nice pop to a space, but still look organic to the way that the rest of everything you're trying to create though too.
Oh, that fits with the vision for my backyard perfectly. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
That's legit what I'm envisioning when I talk about redoing a patio for a flip or something. Right. It's instead of your just stone or your regular concrete pad, bringing in the siding colors, the trim colors, and the natural landscape. So it looks like instead of just ugly concrete pad, you actually have a nice smooth transition. It becomes a part of the house instead of this separate area.
It's another living area.
Yes.
You basically are creating
You're creating an outdoor living space instead of just a I don't know, most patios, unless they're like super, super high end to me, they're just kind of boring, bland.
Right.
Yeah, because they're either pavers or they're concrete or, things like that.
It's boring. It doesn't add that wow factor, I guess, especially like for me. Landscaping and everything for a house plays a big factor. So if you can have a really nice manicured yard and have that beautiful patio, that transition brings the whole space together. I mean, on resale value alone, like that does play a big factor on how nice that curb appeal is and how nice the outdoor space is. So I like that a lot. I'm going to be using that in the future when I have the opportunity, for sure.
I love it.
So, and we do like walkways and like front porches, things like that as well. So you can create some really nice curb appeal options that are not like, crazy expensive, because the square footage you're talking about might not be
small.
Crazy, exactly. So,
Okay, so I have to ask. This is a personal question, so I have to ask it.
Ask away.
One of the plans for my yard, once I get some other stuff done that has to be done first, I want a patio that's going to be round with a fire pit in the middle.
Yeah.
Is it? I would imagine you can do that, but have the pattern go around it, so there's like almost like tiers of like as it goes out into the nature.
Yeah, so that definitely is something we can do. It just takes a little more planning and time, for sure, from the installation standpoint. But that's one of the things where, like, even for myself, I'm continuing to look for those types of options and things that I can offer to customers, though, too, for those customized types of looks. I've actually found some, resources and providers, though, too, as well. They can even help me put in like patterns in the concrete, other things like that, though, too. So that trying to expand the types of options that we have for customers to be able to do more customized work like that, though, too.
That's so cool. Yeah, I love that.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. My brain's just running crazy.
For sure.
What else do the folks have? We got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
What else should they know about you and your product and what you can do with it? Because I know we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we talked a lot about, residential, like, garages, patios. Another thing to consider from a residential standpoint are basements. So like that's an area where, we've done a few basements, and especially for customers that have maybe had a history of like water problems, other things like that, though, too. That's something where like we've actually come in, put our flooring installation in, and knowing that like if they have a problem in the future, though, too, as well, it becomes very easy to clean up and very easy to maintain. And so that they're not putting in a whole new flooring system all over again, though, too.
Oh, I like that.
So we've done a lot of work for customers that have had moisture problems, water problems in their basements, but then also people who have just like really nice finished basements, being able to come in there, create spaces for them, so that you're not, we can do a full basement for people, but that can also get a little pricey for the square footage, though, too.
Right.
So I like to help people think about, it's like, how do you want to use the space? How do you create spaces within your basement? And can we help you do that with the flooring options that we have available, though, too?
Okay.
Yeah. So basements is another area where we like to spend some time in helping people like figure out some fun things we can do for that, though, too. And then we also do commercial work. As well.
I want you to talk. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
What does that look like for the commercial space? Whether it's commercial space, it's somebody's got the 2-story garage in there where they're running a mechanic shop out of it right at their home, or right up to city or state levels.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So we have, varying levels of commercial work that we've done, all the way from like, smaller shops like that, though, too, to like larger warehouse spaces. And we have products that we use for those spaces, though, too, as well, that are really designed for that commercial industrial use. So we have a high durability top coats that we use for that have like really strong abrasion resistance. So that's where like you can drive a crane in on top of that concrete coating, though, too, as well. That's the level of durability that we're like shooting for that. So we've done a lot of work for commercial kitchens, storage warehouses, shops like that, though, too. So we've done a lot of variety of different things, and we have a few others that are kind of in the pipeline. And I think one of the bigger projects we've had kind of through the winter time here is actually for a dog daycare. And so we've been working our way through basically all their playrooms. And there's a dog daycare in Manchester. And so, and now we're getting ready to do in March here all their hallways. So now that we've finished all their playrooms, now we're going to do all the hallways and make it one connected, like, cohesive look all the way throughout the facility now. That's really cool. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, and get some great pictures of the dogs on the floors, though, too. Nice. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. What's the biggest job that you've done? Probably that dog daycare has probably been I think that's probably been the biggest job. We also did. We partnered with another garage for, since we're a national franchise. There's actually 6 of us owners in the Boston area. So regardless of where you're at in New Hampshire or Massachusetts, we have somebody who can help you out though too. So I partnered with someone to do a job for Salem State in Massachusetts, and so we actually did a large hallway and warehouse space for them though too as well. I partnered with them to do that last year. So those are probably my 2 largest jobs we've done so far. And those are 5,000 square foot plus jobs that we've been working on for those projects though too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So going back to when you were at the airport, I'm assuming you could do something, a job like that too. That's whether it's a hangar or it's the mechanic shop where you guys are doing all the work to keep everybody safe.
That's exactly right. So being able to do that type of work though too, and figure out what's the usage for the space and how do we make sure we're dialing in the right system for that though too, and we can make sure that we customize and build that though too, so that how you're using it is really built for that. That's one of the things that I enjoy, is making sure that we're getting the right system. It's not just cookie cutter, like we just do one thing and just do the same thing all over and over and over again. That to me is a harder thing for me to do when I know people have different uses for their spaces. How someone's using their garage is very different than how someone's using it for an airplane hangar. And the needs are very different, and I want to make sure that that's customized and dialed in for what that need is too.
I love that. So Nate, if somebody wants to reach you, what's the best way for them to reach you? Yeah,
for sure. So you can feel free to find us on Facebook or Instagram, or on our website. It's merrimack.garageforce.com. Phone number is 603-318-5204. And feel free to call or text at any point in time, though, too. I'm more than happy to help you out and put a free estimate together for you. I honor my estimates for a year, too. So that's also one plus for customers who are trying to plan ahead.
Yes.
So I'm wanting to help them out with that, though, too.
I love that. Yeah. Nate, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been great, very informative. I love it.
I'm glad.
And that's going to wrap it up for today. And we'll see you all back next week.